Welcome to the Evident Proof demo. My name is Matt Roden. I'm the CTO of Evident. We run these demo sessions twice a week on a Tuesday at 10 a.m. London time and on a Thursday 4 p.m. London time. The demos are pretty short, about 10 minutes. The purpose of the demo session is really just to give you a brief overview of what Evident Proof is, run through a line of business workflow that represents and demonstrates how data is sent to the Evident Proof service, and how proof is created. And then you can ask any questions or ask for a deep dive on Telegram afterwards or at any other time. We are always available to talk to you. So Evident Proof is a platform for storing proof of evidence. What does that mean? So evidence is any data that you have as part of your organization or as an individual that you need to store immutably. So that means that it can never be changed and can't be tampered with, and data that you need to be able to prove in the future was indeed stored at that time in that way, and that the data matches. So effectively, you've got an indelible record of data, which is important for all kinds of reasons, including compliance and litigation and audits and so on and so forth. So effectively, the way our platform works is you send programmatically via an API data to our platform in the form of evidence, which is effectively a fixed schema that we've defined. So you slot your data into that format, you send it across to us. We will convert that evidence to a proof seal. A proof seal is essentially a hash of your data, and we will store the original data you send us. And we will then distribute that proof seal, which has all of the metadata like timestamps and location and so on, across our private and public blockchains. So effectively, you get a mutable distributed proof of your data through the proof seal, because the data that you sent us, going through exactly the same process again of a recognized industry best practice hashing process, will produce that same proof seal, and thus you get a mutable proof of your data. So we're going to run through a very quick example of this. So we have a real client who is the largest supplier of taxi licensing solutions to UK local governments, and effectively their platform, or part of their platform, deals with the governance and the checks and balances around issuing a taxi license. So when you issue a taxi license, you have to do certain checks on the driver and their license and so on. And it's really important that those checks are done. Now, why would you need a mutable proof that these have been done? Well, just last year in the UK, or this year, there was an article in The Guardian in the UK that said that last year 150,000 taxi licenses were issued in the UK to drivers with drink driving bans, criminal convictions, you name it, they had it. And of course, now the burden is then on the local government and the solutions provider to prove that the checks and balances were indeed done. And how can you prove data from traditional databases? Because traditional databases are not secure. Data can be hacked, can be changed, can be tampered with. So it's a real problem, and this is just one example. So we can't show you their full line of business system, but we have done a small recreation of one of their workflows in the form of a small web page where we can show you this line of business workflow of a taxi license being created, and we can show you that data being submitted programmatically to the Evident Proof API. We can then show you that data having been received, converted to a proof seal, stored on the blockchain, and then we can show you later down the line, when you need evidence for litigation or compliance or audit, you can request a proof certificate to get a mutable proof of the integrity of your evidence, of your transactional data or your record. Any data can be stored with evident proof, by the way. It doesn't just have to be live business data. It can be events, transactions, personal data, manufacturing data. It really doesn't matter. So let's just go on to this small example we've put together. We're going to create a taxi license. So you can see here a pretty noddy form that represents a taxi license being created. But effectively, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be putting, let's put a new name. License created, criminal record check performed. I'm going to put in driving license number. So all of these fields in the real system would, of course, be supplemented with document data or some kind of governance data. Now, in this system, of course, we just have checkboxes, but in the real system, you would have a scan of their driving license, a proof of the criminal record check, and so on. And all of that data can be proved using the evident proof service. So we've submitted our taxi license. There he's at the bottom, Joe Davids. And we're going to just go back into evident. And we're going to see that Joe Davids data has been submitted to the evident proof platform. So you can see here that we have a dispatch ID, which is essentially the API call into our service, a where, which can be an IP address or a geolocation, a timestamp, which is important, of course, and then evidence. So you can see we have a cross-reference key, which is essentially, in this case, the key relating to our taxi license, but can be a compound key or a serial number of a device or whatever proof means to you. A key, which here is new license, and a value, which is a JSON representation of the form data from our line of business workflow. This could be a single field. This could be a complex multi-form system. This could be the works of Shakespeare. We really don't care. What we care about is this proof seal that comes out the other end. This is your immutable proof once it has been submitted to the blockchain via our platform. It's automatically done for you. You don't need to do anything else but submit the data to the platform. And you can see here that the data was received. Sorry about that. And then we can see that there's a receipt that we've got to say that the data has been received. That receipt can be stored against the data in your database to show that, yes, this record has been stored immutably with evident proof. So we then move on to a proof certificate. So we need to request a proof certificate. This is what you can take to a court of law or an auditor or a litigation scenario, whatever it may be, a third party of any kind, and say, look, you know, here's the proof that this proof seal was stored immutably and it matches my source data, and there's no argument. It has true immutable distributed consensus using the power of the Ethereum blockchain and our private blockchain. So we're going to request a proof certificate. We're going to go and have a look at it. And you can see that we have a certificate back. So this is, you'll recognize this was our original data. We have a certificate back. And you can see here that our evidence has been verified, and we have a transaction ID pertaining to the blockchain, which proves that the transaction took place, and that transaction can be checked to show that the data matches up to what we're saying was submitted. Further evidence can be compiled onto the proof certificate. Proof certificates are customized organization to organization, and essentially you end up with a PDF report particular to your organizational needs, and that is a proof certificate. So we have finished a minute early. Look at that. Any questions, do reach out. I will answer them, and I will see you on Tuesday at 10 a.m. if you wish to watch another demo. Thanks very much for your time.